Human space is off-limits, and the galaxy now understands the price of hubris. The galaxy was alive with chatter, filled with the hum of countless civilizations, each looking outwards for growth, power, or profit. In the heart of this chaos was a region the Galactic Council had recently declared human space. Officially, it was labeled strategically unimportant. No one expected much to come from the small, pale blue world and its surrounding systems. The humans, according to galactic records, were scattered, emotional, and mostly unorganized. Ambassador John Miller of Earth had been summoned to the council chambers. He was a tall man with a calm voice and careful eyes, the kind that measured every word before letting it leave his lips. He stood before alien representatives, many of whom had tentacles, glowing eyes, or shells harder than steel. The room was massive, its walls pulsing with light and soft vibrations, but Miller focused only on the council members. "Humans are not weak," he said, his tone steady, though he felt the tension in the room. "Our borders are active. Our territory is protected in ways you cannot yet understand. You should not underestimate us." The council snickered. The head of the alien coalition, a being called Arakthal, leaned forward, its multiple limbs folded neatly, and its voice echoed in the chamber. "Your warnings are noted, human," it said, "but irrelevant. Your fleets are small. Your technology is limited. We see no reason to respect boundaries that you cannot defend." John took a breath and replied carefully, "I am not asking you to respect boundaries out of fear. I am asking you to respect them out of reason. Trespassing will have consequences you cannot imagine, but I hope you will not force the issue." Arakthal clicked its mandibles and moved back. "We are not afraid of imagination. We deal in reality. Your threats mean nothing to us. Our fleets are ready, our technology is superior. The humans are, at best, a minor nuisance." The council voted, and with little debate, they approved a small incursion into human space. The plan was simple: send a fleet of ships to survey the area, collect resources, and test for resistance. No one expected any trouble. After all, humans had never shown the ability to fight on a galactic scale. Far from the council chambers, in the quiet expanse of human space, Alex Carter monitored the systems. He was lean, alert, and had spent most of his life in control rooms filled with blinking lights and soft computer hums. Humans rarely revealed their fleets. Their defenses were subtle, often invisible until it was too late to ignore them. "Something's moving," Alex said quietly to his assistant, a young woman named Laura Bennett. She worked with him on the automated systems that protected their borders. Laura looked at the readings and raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" she asked. "Ships, multiple vessels. They are scanning the outer colonies. It's the coalition. They're testing our defenses." Laura's fingers danced over her console. "We're ready. Our systems will handle them. No direct engagement unless absolutely necessary." Alex nodded. Humans had long learned that confrontation often made things worse. Sometimes the best defense was patience and careful preparation. The coalition did not yet know that the humans did not need to fight in the way they expected. The alien ships entered the first of the human border systems. They encountered empty colonies. Mining stations, research outposts, and civilian habitats were deserted. Humans had evacuated quickly and quietly. Sensors showed no life signs in the immediate areas. The coalition officers were confused. The system was empty. They had expected resistance, but they found only silence. Arakthal's fleet commander communicated with the coalition headquarters. "The humans are not here. Sensors show no fleet, no weapons. The systems are quiet. This is strange." "Proceed," the council had said. "We are confident there will be no problems. The humans cannot defend themselves." But unknown to the aliens, the humans had not abandoned the systems. Hidden in the shadows of asteroid belts, cloaked satellites, and automated stations, human systems were waiting. Deep within the rocks and orbits, thousands of small monitoring drones observed every movement of the alien ships. Every scan, every communication was being recorded, analyzed, and countered. Dr. Laura Bennett watched the alien fleets approach on multiple screens. She smiled faintly. "They have no idea what's coming," she said. "They think we are absent. They think they are safe." Alex Carter leaned back in his chair, his hands folded. "Let's see how confident they remain." The first signs were subtle. Alien navigation systems began to flicker. Sensors showed brief interference that could have been blamed on cosmic anomalies, but the effect increased. Communications between ships began to fail. They thought it was equipment malfunction, temporary and harmless. Ericthal, growing impatient, demanded answers from the fleet engineers. Why are our instruments failing? Why are our communications weak? The engineers struggled. We do not know, Commander. Systems show nothing. It is localized interference. Localized interference in every ship. Impossible, Ericthal hissed. Humans cannot have done this. They do not have the capacity. But the humans were not acting directly. They were using clever, indirect methods to make the aliens think they were in control, even though humans had yet to mobilize any fleet. Gravity traps, electromagnetic pulses, and stealth satellites were enough to confuse the intruders. The humans were patient. They waited for the aliens to make mistakes, and mistakes were exactly what the aliens were making. In the council chambers, some smaller alien members began to doubt the coalition. Maybe we underestimated them, one whispered, barely audible. But Ericthal ignored it, believing the humans could not possibly be a real threat. Hubris ran deep among the coalition. They believed their technology and fleets would overcome any obstacle. Back in human space, civilian life had been temporarily disrupted. Families and workers had been moved quietly without panic. No alarms had sounded. The human approach was silent, precise, and almost invisible. Alex and Laura coordinated every move from the control stations. The humans had built years of preparation into these quiet systems. They're advancing into our next system, Laura said. Our interference will get stronger there. It will take them by surprise. Alex nodded. They think they are testing us. They don't realize they are being tested themselves. The alien ships, confident in their superiority, moved deeper into human space. They scanned the planets, analyzed the resources, and even began minor construction projects on abandoned stations. But each move was met with subtle disruption. Sensors failed just long enough to mislead their maps. Engines misfired at crucial moments. Communication channels scrambled briefly during sensitive operations. The aliens were unaware that humans were not just monitoring, they were actively shaping the battlefield from afar. In one of the hidden human stations, Laura monitored the alien engineers struggling with failed equipment. She smiled. They're starting to doubt themselves, she said, but they still won't listen to reason. Alex walked past her console, eyes focused on the data. They need to learn that patience is more dangerous than aggression. They cannot see us, but we are everywhere. They only see what we allow them to see. The alien fleets grew restless. Ericthal was angry, frustrated, and confused. The Coalition Council sent messages demanding that the aliens report success, but the reports were incomplete and contradictory. Minor failures were dismissed at first, but as interference continued, the alien leadership began to worry. For the first time, they felt uncertainty. John Miller, observing from Earth's orbit, knew the humans' quiet defense was working. He had warned the Council, but humans never needed their approval to protect themselves. Humanity's methods were not about firepower, they were about control, patience, and strategy. The Coalition could not see it yet, but they were already paying a price for their arrogance. Far from the battles of machinery and data, civilian human life continued. Children played in schools on distant colonies. Engineers maintained energy grids. Scientists studied stars. To them, nothing seemed unusual. The humans had mastered the art of making their presence felt without revealing themselves. The galaxy had underestimated the subtle power of preparation and intelligence. As the first day of alien incursion came to a close, the Coalition fleet commanders began to realize that something was wrong. Minor errors were growing, resources were being misallocated, and communications were unreliable. Ericthal barked orders, tried to regain control, but every attempt seemed to worsen the confusion. Alex watched the reports and said quietly, "It's going exactly as planned. Let them think they are winning." Laura nodded. "And soon they will see the cost of hubris." In human space, silence was a weapon, patience a shield, and preparation a force more powerful than any fleet. The aliens believed they were testing humans, but in reality, humanity was teaching them a lesson in strategy, restraint, and unseen power. The galaxy would soon learn that human space was not empty, and that those who ignored human warnings did so at their own peril. The alien fleet had advanced deeper into human space, thinking they were surveying abandoned colonies and unprotected territories. Every ship carried its own sense of superiority. They believed humans were scattered, weak, and incapable of organized resistance. but the humans had already prepared. They did not need fleets to fight directly. Their strength was patience, planning, and unseen systems spread across every world. Alex Carter watched the fleet movements from the command station orbiting the planet Kessler. The station was hidden in the shadows of a gas giant, its presence invisible to sensors scanning the system. On his screens, tiny blips of the alien fleet moved steadily, scanning planets, sending probes, and establishing temporary bases on empty colonies. "They're moving into the Sauron system next," Laura Bennett said, pointing at a glowing dot on her console. She was calm but alert. "Our interference will be stronger there. We'll see how confident they remain when their instruments fail at the worst moments." Alex nodded. "Good. Let's make sure they feel in control before we show them they are." The aliens, confident in their dominance, ignored the warnings embedded in every automated signal they intercepted. The coalition fleet believed that humans were weak, disorganized, and passive. They did not understand that the humans had designed their defenses to operate silently, without showing force, yet capable of causing maximum confusion and delay. On one of the abandoned human colonies, small drones hidden in asteroid belts and orbital debris scanned the alien ships. They observed engine outputs, shield levels, and communication frequencies. Every movement was recorded, analyzed, and used to trigger automated defenses. No humans were physically present, yet the systems acted with precise timing. "We are detecting interference in our communications," one alien engineer said, his voice shaky over the ship intercom. The command vessel carrying Arakthul responded immediately. "Explain it," Arakthul demanded. "This interference should be impossible. Humans cannot project signals this far, not without being seen." "We do not know, Commander," the engineer replied. "Our systems fail intermittently. Sensors fluctuate. It is unpredictable." Arakthul's mandibles clicked in frustration. It had expected obedience and order from its fleet. Confusion was intolerable. "Double the monitoring teams, fix the issue immediately. No human can interfere with us and survive." Unknown to the aliens, humans were not interfering directly. Their systems created illusions and subtle disruptions. Gravity shifts, small pulses of energy, and cloaked monitoring satellites were enough to make the alien fleet doubt its instruments. The aliens did not know what to trust. Alex Carter leaned back in his chair, eyes on the central monitor. "They still don't realize we're not here to fight directly," he said. "They think we are passive. They think we are weak." Laura Bennett smiled faintly. "And that makes them careless. Patience is always the stronger weapon." The alien fleet moved into the next system, scanning planets and deploying probes. The humans allowed it, creating the illusion of safety. Probes found no human ships, no soldiers, no weapons. The aliens celebrated each success and sent triumphant messages back to their home systems. "They are celebrating empty space," Laura said. "They think they are winning." "Let them," Alex replied. "Every mistake they make now will cost them later." The coalition fleet began establishing temporary stations on abandoned colonies, assuming humans had fled entirely. They mined resources, repaired ships, and conducted experiments on abandoned human equipment. But every system they touched was monitored. Humans had left hidden sensors, automated traps, and interference nodes ready to disrupt operations. On a distant moon, a group of small human-controlled satellites began to orbit the alien stations. They did not attack. They did not fire weapons. They only emitted subtle pulses that caused minor malfunctions in engines and shields. Alien engineers spent hours troubleshooting, unaware that the source was deliberate and harmless until activated fully. "Our engines keep failing intermittently," one alien officer complained. "Our shields drop randomly. Nothing makes sense," Arakthul growled. It was frustrated beyond measure. "We are better than this. Humans cannot make our technology fail like this. Find the source immediately or face severe consequences." Back at the human command station, Alex watched the aliens struggle quietly. "They are finally starting to feel uncertainty," he said, "and uncertainty grows quickly into fear when pride is involved." Laura nodded. "They will make mistakes." Humans never need to fight when the other side fights themselves. In human space, civilians continued their normal lives. Children played on distant colonies, engineers maintained power grids, and scientists conducted research. No one panicked. The humans had prepared for this scenario for decades. Evacuation plans were ready, automated systems were running, and the aliens were unaware that every move they made was being tracked. The alien fleet, growing restless, decided to probe deeper into human territory. They believed the humans would eventually flee or surrender. They did not realize that the humans had set the stage for a far greater demonstration of power. "We need to scan the entire sector," Erekthal ordered. "There could be hidden humans we do not see." "We already scanned everything," an officer replied. "There is nothing. All colonies are abandoned, no human fleets detected." Erekthal slammed a limb against the control panel in frustration. "Humans cannot be invisible. Our sensors are perfect. Find the mistake." As the aliens continued, hidden human systems began to subtly influence their navigation. Small gravity shifts and magnetic anomalies caused minor course deviations. Ships that thought they were perfectly aligned with targets suddenly drifted. Engineers spent hours recalibrating, only to find new anomalies appearing elsewhere. "Our charts are useless," one alien engineer said. "We cannot predict trajectories accurately. This should be impossible." "Humans cannot have done this," Erekthal repeated, disbelief in its voice. "They are too primitive. We are superior in every way." "They are smarter than you think," Alex said quietly. "They are humans. Patience, preparation, and intelligence are stronger than brute force." In the following days, the aliens continued their occupation of empty colonies, unaware of the human systems silently observing them. Each failure caused small setbacks. Engines malfunctioned, mining equipment broke down, and communication signals fluctuated. The aliens grew more frustrated with every passing hour, but they did not yet recognize the pattern. Human operators like Laura Bennett monitored these developments carefully. She coordinated the activation of subtle defenses, ensuring that alien crews never faced direct danger but always faced confusion. The humans wanted to teach a lesson without destroying. They wanted the aliens to understand the cost of arrogance. "Look at them," Laura said, pointing at the screen. "Every decision they make is slowed by doubt. Every action is complicated by fear. They don't see it yet, but they are trapped by their own hubris." Alex leaned closer. "They believe humans are absent. But humans are everywhere, controlling the battlefield without revealing themselves." Meanwhile, the aliens tried to communicate with each other about their growing difficulties. Internal disagreements began to surface. Some smaller alien civilizations questioned the coalition's judgment. "Maybe we underestimated them," one whispered. "We cannot see what they are doing, and yet everything goes wrong." Erekthal ignored these doubts, believing humans could not match their strategy. Hubris was strong, but so was confusion. The aliens began to make small but costly mistakes. Poorly timed maneuvers, miscommunication between ships, and accidental collisions with minor space debris that had been placed strategically by human systems. "Our losses are minor," one officer reported. "Nothing serious. We are still superior." "Superior?" Erekthal hissed. "Our mistakes are spreading. Sensors, engines, even navigation are failing. We must correct it. The humans cannot have this power." But the humans were patient. Alex and Laura coordinated every subtle disruption with precision. They allowed the aliens to feel in control while sowing small errors that compounded over time. The aliens believed they were simply unlucky, not realizing that human intelligence controlled every variable. On a quiet human station orbiting a small star, automated systems began preparing for the next stage. Gravitational anomalies were being readied, energy pulses calculated, and cloaked satellites positioned strategically. Humans had set the stage for the aliens to realize the consequences of their arrogance, but they had yet to trigger the full response. "Everything is ready," Laura said. "When we begin, it will be unmistakable. The lesson will be clear." Alex smiled faintly. "And they will finally understand. Human space is off-limits, not because we are weak, but because we are patient, prepared, and inevitable." The coalition fleet continued to probe, completely unaware that they were being guided by human hands. Every system they touched, every probe they sent, and every signal they transmitted was recorded and analyzed. The humans had studied their tactics long before the first alien ship entered their space. By the end of the second week, alien crews were tired, frustrated, and confused. Minor setbacks became frequent, and confidence began to waver. For the first time, Erekthal experienced doubt. The humans had not fought, yet they had already caused disruption beyond anything the aliens had anticipated. "Humans are stronger than we imagined," one officer admitted reluctantly. They may be more than primitive. Ericthol's mandibles clicked angrily. No, they cannot be. They have no fleets, no major weapons, yet everything fails around them. We will find a solution, or we will be remembered as fools. Alex and Laura watched the reports in silence. The aliens still did not understand, but the humans had already won the first part of the battle. No force had been used, yet the coalition fleet was exhausted, confused, and increasingly cautious. They think they are in control, Alex said softly. But we have already set the stage. The galaxy will learn the cost of hubris starting here. Laura nodded. And when we act next, they will see the full power of human strategy. They will understand that human space is not a playground. It is a fortress, invisible and inevitable. And so the alien fleet continued to stumble through human space, confident in their superiority, yet slowly learning that appearances were not reality. The humans were patient, intelligent, and everywhere without being seen. Every day the aliens spent in human systems brought them closer to understanding the price of ignoring human warnings. Human space remained quiet, organized, and calm. Children played, engineers maintained grids, and scientists studied stars. Beneath the surface, invisible systems observed, interfered, and prepared. Patience had become humanity's weapon, and the aliens, blinded by arrogance, were walking straight into its trap. The alien fleet had been in human space for weeks. What had begun as a confident survey mission had turned into confusion, delays, and frustration. Minor failures and interference had slowed their progress, but the aliens still did not understand the full scope of human power. They thought they were unlucky, not realizing that patience, preparation, and intelligence had trapped them in a silent, invisible web. Alex Carter sat in the control station orbiting the planet Kessler. Screens displayed the positions of alien ships, their status, and subtle anomalies. Every system was being monitored, every movement tracked. No humans had fired a weapon yet. There was no visible fleet. Yet the aliens were beginning to suffer real consequences from the humans' careful planning. They are losing patience, Laura Bennett said quietly. She leaned over a console, reviewing data from hidden satellites and automated interference nodes. They think we are weak, but their mistakes are growing. We can start the next phase. Alex nodded. The moment has come to show them that human space is off limits. We will not fight with fleets or weapons. We will fight with strategy, precision, and the consequences they never expected. Deep in human space, systems long dormant began to activate. Hidden satellites moved into orbit around the alien stations, cloaked and invisible. Gravity traps positioned near planets adjusted subtly, creating small anomalies in the alien fleet's navigation. Automated mining equipment triggered controlled energy pulses, enough to disable engines and shields temporarily without harming crews. The aliens were unaware. Ericthol still believed humans were absent. It ordered its engineers to fix the unexplained failures, not realizing that the humans were controlling every variable from hidden command stations. Our ships are failing too often, an alien officer said nervously. We cannot predict what will happen next. Every system seems unreliable. Humans cannot do this, Ericthol hissed. They are primitive, we are superior, find the cause or be punished. But the humans had planned for this. Alex Carter activated the next stage. Subtle gravitational anomalies grew stronger, affecting the aliens' propulsion systems. Engines misfired, shields dropped briefly, and communications failed at crucial moments. Ships drifted off course, probes collided, and small stations suffered minor energy surges. No humans were exposed, yet the aliens faced real consequences for their hubris. On a distant human moon, Laura monitored the fleet's movements. She smiled faintly. They are starting to panic. Notice how they hesitate, how they argue, how they try to regain control. Every moment they waste, we gain an advantage. Alex watched the data carefully. We are not fighting directly. We are demonstrating consequences. Every failure teaches them that human space is not empty and that hubris comes at a cost. In the alien fleet, mistakes grew worse. Officers miscommunicated, misread data, and made tactical errors. Ships drifted into asteroid fields, engines shut down mid-maneuver, and temporary stations lost power intermittently. Minor problems became major setbacks, but the aliens still did not understand why. This is impossible, one officer muttered. We have superior technology. Humans cannot do this. Then find the explanation, Ericthul roared. We cannot fail, we are the dominant power. Alex and Laura shared a glance. The aliens still believed they were in control. The humans had not yet shown their full power. Patience, precision, and planning had already caused damage, but the next stage would teach the aliens the real price of their arrogance. Hidden drones began to interact with alien ships more directly, still without attacking. Small kinetic pulses from satellites nudged engines, causing misalignments. Gravitational anomalies created subtle but increasing errors in navigation. Communication signals scrambled briefly but repeatedly, creating confusion and fear among crews. The aliens were trapped in a maze of errors they could not see, created by a force they did not believe existed. We cannot trust our instruments, an alien engineer said nervously. Every reading is unreliable. We cannot coordinate our fleet. Humans cannot do this, Ericthul repeated, disbelief in its voice. Our sensors are perfect, our fleets are superior, yet everything fails. Back at the human station, Laura adjusted interference patterns. They still do not understand, she said. We are everywhere, yet invisible. Every mistake they make is guided by us, though they think it is luck. Alex smiled. They will soon learn the full cost of ignoring human warnings. In the Coalition Council, smaller alien civilizations began to question the strategy. Maybe we underestimated them, one whispered. They appear weak, but our fleets are failing around them. Every operation is delayed. We are not in control. Ericthul dismissed them. Humans are primitive. These failures are temporary. We will correct them and complete our mission. But the humans were ready for more. Hidden systems activated traps around the occupied colonies. Small stations that appeared abandoned emitted pulses of energy that disrupted engines and shields. Mining equipment overloaded briefly, forcing alien crews to shut down operations. Even temporary communications relays sent false data, leading officers to miscalculate positions and resources. The aliens panicked. Ericthul shouted orders, but each command seemed to worsen the situation. Mistakes multiplied, small collisions occurred, engines failed, shields faltered, probes were lost. The aliens were still superior in raw firepower, yet they were losing control without facing a direct attack. Why is this happening? One officer cried. We cannot understand. Every system fails around us. Humans are not weak, Alex said quietly. They never were. We have only just begun to enforce our space. Laura nodded. They will soon understand that we do not need to fight them directly. Consequences are enough. The first direct human action came in the form of controlled gravitational events. Automated systems shifted asteroids slightly, creating small but significant anomalies in the alien fleet's navigation. Ships misaligned, collided, and lost valuable time. Temporary stations shut down unexpectedly. The aliens had no explanation. Our stations are offline, an alien officer shouted. Everywhere we go, systems fail. Ericthul's mandibles clicked in frustration. Humans cannot have done this, find the source, or face death. But there was no source to find, only invisible preparation and patient planning. The humans had created an environment where consequences were immediate, inescapable, and invisible. The aliens could not attack what they could not see. They could only suffer the results of hubris. Alex watched as reports from the alien fleet arrived on his screens. Minor errors were now compounding. Crews argued. Engineers panicked. Officers questioned decisions. Ericthul's arrogance had blinded it to the obvious. The humans were everywhere, controlling the battlefield without revealing themselves. They think they are winning, Laura said softly, but the lesson has already begun. The aliens attempted to retreat, but their systems were failing. Engines misfired, shields were weak, and communication was unreliable. The humans had not fired a shot, yet the Coalition fleet was trapped by its own mistakes, guided by the humans' invisible hand. We cannot leave, one officer admitted. Our ships are failing, navigation is impossible, we are trapped. Ericthul hissed angrily. Humans cannot do this. We are superior, yet everything fails. Find the cause or we are doomed. Alex and Laura prepared for the final phase. Hidden satellites emitted stronger pulses. Gravitational anomalies intensified. Communication interference became persistent. The aliens, already exhausted, could not predict or adapt. Every action they took led to more confusion. This will teach them, Alex said. A single fleet cannot ignore human warnings without paying the price. Consequences are enough to protect human space. Laura nodded. They still believe they are superior, but they are trapped by patience, preparation, and intelligence. The cost of hubris is clear. Over the next days, the alien fleet suffered further failures. Ships collided, temporary stations shut down completely, and resources were lost. Crews were stranded on moons and planets, unable to repair engines or restore systems. Minor injuries occurred, but no lives were lost. Humans had not attacked directly, yet the aliens were learning the true cost of ignoring human space. Ericthal finally sent a message to the Coalition Council admitting the failures. Our fleet is compromised, navigation is unreliable, systems fail, we are not in control, humans have outsmarted us. The Council was shocked. They had underestimated humans. Small alien civilizations whispered among themselves. We thought humans were weak. We were wrong. They do not fight like us, yet they control the battlefield invisibly. Alex and Laura watched the reports silently. The humans had won without engaging directly. The aliens had learned the first lesson. Human space was not to be trespassed lightly. Hubris carried consequences. Patience and planning could defeat arrogance without a single human casualty. They understand now, Alex said. The galaxy will remember this. Humans are not weak. Human space is not empty. Consequences are real, Laura smiled. And when we finish the next phase, they will fully understand. The cost of hubris is permanent. Human systems continued to operate quietly. Children played, engineers maintained energy grids, and scientists studied stars. The humans had not revealed themselves. The aliens were trapped, confused, and humbled. The galaxy was beginning to understand that human patience, intelligence, and preparation were more powerful than fleets, weapons, or firepower. And so the aliens suffered the first true consequences of their arrogance. They had believed humans were weak, passive, and scattered. They had thought they could occupy human space with impunity. But the humans had shown them that strength did not always need to be visible, and that patience, planning, and preparation were enough to turn hubris into a trap. Human space remained silent, calm, and invisible. The aliens had learned that the cost of trespassing was higher than they could imagine. They had not been attacked directly, yet they had been defeated. The lesson was clear. Human space was off-limits, and arrogance carried a price. The galaxy had begun to understand, but the humans were only just beginning to teach that lesson after weeks of confusion, minor losses, and repeated failures. The Coalition fleet finally began to understand the reality of human space. What had started as an exploration and occupation mission had turned into a slow, invisible defeat. The aliens could not see the humans directly, yet every attempt to control systems, stations, and fleets was met with failure. Patience, strategy, and preparation had won without a single human ship being deployed in open battle. Alex Carter watched the reports on the main screens of the hidden station orbiting Kessler. He leaned back, exhausted but satisfied. They finally understand, he said quietly. Humans are not passive. Human space is not empty. Consequences exist for those who ignore warnings. Laura Bennett nodded, her eyes still scanning data streams. They still think it's luck, but every failure, every delay, every miscalculation, they were guided. Humans controlled it all without being seen. The alien crews were scattered across moons, asteroids, and abandoned colonies. Minor collisions, engine failures, and shield collapses had left ships stranded. Crews were alive but powerless, trapped by invisible forces they could not identify. Panic and frustration ran through the Coalition, and even smaller alien civilizations had begun to question the strategy that had brought them here. Ericthal's mandibles clicked in anger and disbelief. We cannot be defeated by humans. We are superior, yet everything we do fails. Find the cause or face consequences yourselves. One of its officers finally spoke, voice trembling. Commander, we cannot find the source. Every system fails. Navigation is impossible. Even communications are unreliable. We are trapped. Trapped, Ericthal hissed. Humans cannot do this. They have no fleets, no weapons, yet everything fails. Back at the human station, Alex and Laura exchanged a glance. The lesson is complete, Laura said. They understand that human space is not to be trespassed. They feel the consequences without ever meeting resistance directly. Alex nodded. Now we prepare to offer them terms. Humans do not destroy what is not attacking. We enforce our space and demand respect. It is time to make that clear. The humans initiated the next phase of communication. A single message, simple and direct, was transmitted to the Coalition fleet. It was unthreatening but firm, stating that human space was protected and that trespassers would face consequences. The message also offered guidance. Any alien crew willing to withdraw peacefully could do so under safe terms, while further attempts at occupation would lead to inescapable failure. The alien fleet received the message in silence. Erechthol's multiple limbs folded tensely as it read the communication. Humans speak with calm, yet every action shows power. We were arrogant. We underestimated them. This is unacceptable. Smaller alien civilizations whispered among themselves. We thought humans were weak. They are far stronger than we imagined. Their fleets are invisible. Their power is everywhere, yet unseen. Hubris has led us here. The alien commanders began to make decisions. Some chose to retreat, leaving the systems they had tried to occupy. Human automated systems allowed them to leave without incident, but every misstep in retreat caused delays that reinforced the lesson. Human space was defended, intelligent, and patient. Alex and Laura coordinated the withdrawal of the Coalition fleet. They did not interfere directly. The humans had no need. The aliens' previous mistakes had demonstrated consequences clearly enough. As ships left, hidden satellites continued to monitor their systems, ensuring no further trespass could occur without detection. Erecthol finally addressed the remaining fleet. We were arrogant. We underestimated humans. We will report failure to the Council. They are stronger than we imagined. Every system we touched failed under invisible control. Humans are inevitable. Human civilians remained unaware of most of the battle's mechanics. Children played on colonies, engineers maintained energy grids, and scientists observed stars. The humans had enforced their territory without creating fear or panic. They had demonstrated power quietly with precision and patience. Back in orbit, John Miller observed the alien retreat. The Council will learn quickly, he said. Humans have shown consequences, not by attack but by intelligence and control. The galaxy will remember this. Laura adjusted monitoring systems. They will tell stories of silent planets, invisible traps, and consequences they could not see. The lesson will spread faster than any fleet could. As weeks passed, reports from the Coalition fleet trickled into Council chambers. Minor civilizations expressed astonishment. We assumed humans were weak. They do not fight openly, yet they control the battlefield invisibly. Arrogance cost us. Erechthol's voice was low, tinged with bitterness. Humans are not like other civilizations. They are patient. Intelligent, unseen, yet inevitable. We will never ignore them again. Back at the human station, Alex and Laura prepared post-operation analysis. Every interference, gravitational anomaly, and kinetic pulse had been recorded. Human strategy had ensured minimal damage, zero casualties, and maximum effect. Every action had been precise, designed to teach a lesson without unnecessary destruction. They will respect us now, Laura said. Human space is off limits. The galaxy has learned the price of hubris, Alex nodded, and we will maintain that respect. Humans do not need to fight openly to enforce their borders. Preparation, patience, and intelligence are stronger than fleets or firepower. The lesson has been taught and it will be remembered. In the council chambers, discussions continued. Smaller civilizations expressed awe and fear. Humans are unpredictable. They appear weak, but every step we take in their space costs us. Arrogance has consequences. We must respect their borders. Even the most powerful coalition members could not ignore the lesson. The humans had defended territory, shown consequences, and taught humility without direct confrontation. Stories would travel across the galaxy, reminding civilizations that human space was not to be trespassed lightly. Human diplomats prepared the next steps. Terms of recognition and safe passage for future interactions were drafted. These were firm but fair. Humans did not seek vengeance. They only demanded respect, proving that intelligence and preparation could achieve more than firepower. John Miller oversaw the process. "This is history," he said. Humans have shown the galaxy that they are a power to respect, not through aggression, but through patience and strategy. Every civilization will remember this lesson. In distant human colonies, life returned to normal. Children laughed and played. Engineers repaired grids. Scientists studied stars. Yet beneath the calm, hidden systems continued to operate, monitoring space, ready to enforce human territory with precision if needed. The galaxy had learned a lesson in humility, and humans had done so quietly, efficiently, and without revealing their full power. Ericthal, returning to the home system, reported honestly to the council. Humans are stronger than we imagined. They do not fight like us. They do not show their strength openly, yet they enforce consequences that cannot be ignored. Arrogance costs heavily in their space. The council convened. Minor civilizations spoke of invisible forces, failed fleets, and lessons in patience. We underestimated humans, one said. We assumed weakness, but they are inevitable. Their space is protected, and every action we take must consider consequences. Alex and Laura watched the reports silently. The galaxy will respect us now, Laura said softly. Human space is off limits, the lesson has spread. And it will remain remembered, Alex replied. We enforced space, ensured safety, and taught the cost of hubris without firing a single shot. That is the power of humanity. In the weeks and months following, alien fleets avoided human systems. Stories of the invisible defense spread, growing into legends. Civilizations learned that human space was not empty, not weak, and not vulnerable. Humans had taught the galaxy that patience, preparation, and intelligence were stronger than fleets, weapons, or direct confrontation. Hidden satellites and automated systems continued to operate quietly, observing, monitoring, and enforcing. Humans had won without battle, showing that strategy and foresight were more important than strength alone. The Coalition and other civilizations understood that hubris carried consequences, and that human space was to be respected at all costs. Alex Carter walked through the quiet halls of the command station. We have done what needed to be done, he said. The galaxy will remember. Human space is protected and our lesson is complete. Laura smiled. We showed them patience is power, intelligence is force, and preparation is strength. Human space is no longer ignored. The consequences are understood. John Miller, watching the galaxy through orbiting screens, added, This is only the beginning. Humans are everywhere, but invisible. Every civilization will know the cost of arrogance when entering human space. The galaxy will respect human space because we made them understand without firing a single shot. The humans had taught the ultimate lesson. Strength did not always mean aggression, visibility, or violence. Patience, preparation, intelligence, and consequences were enough to defend a civilization, enforce borders, and humble the proud. And so human space remained quiet, calm, and invisible, yet stronger than any fleet. The galaxy now understood that arrogance came at a cost, and that humans were patient, inevitable, and impossible to underestimate. The lesson was clear. Human space was off limits, and the price of hubris had been paid.